Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we are delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. We certainly would love to hear from you, so please send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@EWTN.com. And this is the month of January. This is Pro-Life Month. All you have to do is go to EWTN/pro-life. EWTN is airing special shows for Pro-Life Month. They're also going to be bringing you the only coverage that you will probably see about the March for Life and the Walk for Life West Coast. So we'll have two major marches, one on Friday, January 21st, and then on Saturday, January 22nd, Walk for Life West Coast will be happening. And so, and if you're somewhere in between and you want to go to a march in your state and you don't have the means to travel, all you need to do is go to March for Life. There'll be things that are happening in your state, locally, maybe at your capital, or maybe at a local Planned Parenthood. So we want you to get involved and be involved, and certainly be praying that abortion would come to an end, that as the Supreme Court is hearing the deliberations going over Roe versus Wade, the Dobbs versus Mississippi case, that whole beautiful believing, hoping that they will overturn Roe versus Wade. That's what we're hoping and praying for.
Well, this is
Why not?
Perfect day to have with us Janet Morana, Executive Director of Priests for Life. She's going to be sharing with us about a number of projects and campaigns that Priests for Life has. In particular, My Heart Beats Just Like Yours. These incredible images of the preborn child and their personhood that's so clearly there, and all the ways they have about spreading that word, whether it's shirts or buttons you can wear or a beautiful brochure. And Priests for Life and Janet Morana are very well known here at EWTN. Janet does Defending Life television series. She does the Catholic View for Women, Silent No More Awareness campaign. She's the foundress of that. Recall Abortion, her book. The other book, Shockwaves. And so it's great to have our sister in Christ and a very familiar person to you all at this juncture of this week with the upcoming marches that you're speaking about. So we want to equip you to do the work of the ministry. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.
Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and today our guest is Janet Morana. She is the Executive Director of Priests for Life. You can visit their website, endabortion.us. And they have a new project, which Janet's going to tell us about. We're so grateful for Father Frank Pavone, Janet Morana, Kevin and Teresa Burke, Alveda King, and the beautiful ministry that they have throughout the world of telling the truth about abortion, healing men and women that are broken from abortion, and also the beautiful Silent No More awareness campaign, where they give men and women who may have had an abortion in their past a voice to tell their story, and the healing that comes to not only them and their family, but also to the church and to others who hear it, and frees them up so that they too have a voice and they can tell their story. So Janet, we want to thank you for your years of great service and your beautiful witness, but we want you to tell our family today a little bit about the new project, My Heart Beats Just Like Yours. And you could go to this website, myheartbeatsjustlikeyours.com. Janet, tell us about this new project that you're venturing out to.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Jim and Joy. Of course, we know each other for a long time in the battle together. That's right. And it's kind of ironic. We came up with this project last spring this concept because the abortion industry right now is focusing on the very early stages of pregnancy with the chemical abortion, as you know.
Right.
And one of the reasons is they can't find enough doctors to do surgical abortion. And all through the pandemic, they got the FDA waived the rules for distributing RU486 that now they could do a telemed appointment. So a woman sees a doctor on a computer and they mail her the RU486.
Right.
So they're really honing in on these babies in the earliest stages of development. And of course, we know by the testimonies of the women, they're telling these women, oh, well, the baby's not really developed yet. It's okay. Don't worry. It's not really, it's not really a baby yet. So we said, no, no, no. We know that little embryo,
Yes.
it's like you said, Joy, the heart beats at 3 weeks. And so we decided to use this campaign, My Heart Beats Just Like Yours, let the baby talk. And that's the unique part of this campaign. It's because people read fetal development, the baby can do this, the baby can do that. I said, no, no, no. Let's have the baby talk.
Wow.
And so that's what this is. It's the baby talking to you.
Yes.
My heart beats just like yours.
Yes.
And so that's how we started this campaign. The beautiful pictures that are in that brochure, we call them the NASA photos. They're used by taking these early developmental pictures, and they're kind of what NASA does. They'll stitch the pictures like they do from satellites together to get a clearer image. And that's what the technology is. And if you look at those images, they're astounding. I mean, it's clearly a baby. The baby you could see the eyes, the ears. It's all coming into place. And the pictures in the brochure are in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month of development. And RU486, as you know, is not supposed to be distributed past 10 weeks. So that's why we're focusing in on this earliest stages. Because, Joy, you work in a pregnancy center, and you get someone in there, women are finding out sooner and sooner they're pregnant, weeks into the pregnancy, because they take that test at home, and they come in maybe to the center. Well, if you show them that brochure, there's no doubt right there that it's a baby. It's not, it's fully developed. And by the 8 weeks, it is now a fetus, no longer an embryo. Right. And so that's an important turning point also, because when you think about it, people refer to embryos like for embryonic stem cell, and people still think that, oh, the baby, again, is not developed. Once it becomes a fetus, oh, well, now it's a baby. And so, again, we're trying to educate with this campaign of all the beautiful things that baby does at such an early stage of development.
Well, it's a brilliant idea because, it's really going right where, like you said, the abortion industry is targeting this baby and women. And even yesterday, I had a conversation with a client and a boyfriend, and I got to say to him, this baby, and you will see it on the ultrasound, because we know statistically 80% of the men and women who hear their baby's heartbeat have a conversion to life if they're going in and they are being thinking they're going to abort this baby because they're believing the lie that it's a blob of tissue, it's not really a baby. And you can tell them that in the counseling room, but then when they go into the ultrasound room and they see the baby and they hear the baby, there's a great conversion to life. And so, and I even said those words yesterday to this young man. I said, your heart started beating when you were in your mother's womb at 21 days. And you're sitting in that chair and your heart is still beating and you're alive and this baby is alive. And so it's a beautiful, brilliant campaign, and I hope that it awakens the reality of when a baby's heartbeat starts beating so that we could all see, oh my gosh, this is real.
Right. And you know something, too, this also protects the mother because we're finding more and more women, of course, that are going down this route of chemical abortion are more traumatized. They're coming to healing at Rachel's Vineyard quicker and sooner, and because of the trauma. Why? They become the abortion doctor. Because, see, with a surgical abortion, the women can deflect their anger towards that abortionist. But now they're the person that, with their own hands, takes that pill. And where is the abortion clinic? It's their home. It's their bathroom. And we know already, we're getting testimonies already from women saying, I saw my baby in the toilet. and they flushed their own child down. Or some women said they grabbed it up out of the toilet, they put it in a little shoebox and ran out in the yard and buried the baby. I mean, the trauma that's happening because of the chemical abortion, it's tragic. The other thing, too, is women are at great risk because they'll give them that pill, but if it's an ectopic pregnancy, she's going to end up in the emergency room with severe complications. So this campaign, like I said, it saves the baby, but it saves the mother too from the physical damage and the psychological and emotional scarring that we're experiencing. I mean, they're coming to Rachel's Vineyard sooner and sooner because of this RU 486.
Well,
Yes.
And the one final thing I wanted to tell you is the Biden administration, the FDA put that in place where they could telemed out the pills, but that was only supposed to be temporary. Well, just recently, the Biden administration instructed them to make it permanent. So
Right.
now, RU 486 is being mailed out like candy would be, and it's tragic. Tragic.
Yes.
yeah. Well, you're making so many profound and clear factual points. I don't think we can reiterate them enough. And so, you started out speaking about kind of the strategy of the pro-abortion movement and Planned Parenthood. And because, we look at surveys that have been taken and speaking to the public, and the public in America and probably in other places thinks that abortions only take place in the first trimester, especially these ages that you're speaking about, which is not true. Roe versus Wade and Doe versus Bolton brings it through all 9 months. But there's a growing revulsion about that within America. And so, like you're saying, they're targeting the early times because they think maybe more Americans can accept this, or it's just a blob, it's a mass, there's nothing really going on, it doesn't look like a human being, and so on. And so you're really focusing upon where this whole campaign for the pro-abortion movement is going to educate our people and to say, well, we seem to be winning the battle in the older ages of the children, but we got to win the battle right here. We know, life begins at the moment of conception. And so we say that, but as you said, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to see how early that heart's beating. You're saying, let the baby speak. And for so many of us, especially in my situation, I was pro-life, but I wasn't very active. And it wasn't until I saw, one of our children, our last child, on ultrasound and saw him so vividly there early on, and saw that heart beating, and then we got another ultrasound, and I could push on Joy's stomach, and I could see him on ultrasound, and he would stop because he sensed the touch, and then I'd let up, and he'd begin to move again, and then I started to yell, at Joy's womb. I said, hey, like this, and the baby would stop when it heard my voice. And so when I had that, I had what you were speaking about, an encounter, not with an issue, but an encounter with a human being and a person who is not me and who is not Joy, separate from us. And I thought to myself at that moment, I could take you to one of 5 abortion mills in Birmingham, Alabama, because we had 7 over the years, we're down to 1, and I can have you killed today. Now, that was not my plan, but I said, I can have you killed today. And Janet, at that moment I said, I don't want to know about this. And I was a minister at that time in the Episcopal Church, and I was pro-life. But I said, I don't want to know about this. About what? I mean, you're already pro-life. No, I don't know about this, that this baby that I'm looking at can be dismembered. He's going to be killed, and I can pay for this. And I don't want to know this. I ran away from it, for some time. But I think that's what you're talking about. Seeing is believing, and until,
that's right.
Like Father Frank always says, until America sees abortion, it will continue to accept abortion. And we're not even talking about abortion here. America hasn't even seen fetal development the way it needs to see fetal development, these incredible pictures that you're speaking about. Now, Janet, speak to us a little bit about, we've seen these incredible images, but then we seeing this little piece of a video. How does that relate to this campaign, to these pictures and the video?
Sure. Well, the video comes from a DVD that we're distributing here at Priests for Life. We've been actually distributing it for over a decade. Yeah. It was originally distributed by National Geographic. It's the endoscopy video.
Yes.
And this video takes it, again, from the earliest weeks on up. And it's beautiful, where it shows the baby's heart pulsing and pulsing and beating like that. I mean, anybody to see that, it's got to be a little bit of a game changer. That, oh my goodness, I didn't realize. And the good thing about this program too, Jim, I think schools could be using this. Like the brochure, I think you have it there on the table. You hold it up.
Yes.
That brochure you could have this in a classroom, confirmation classes, biology class. This should be distributed in the schools. I truly believe that's my heart, so that more people will look at this early development. Because let's face it, and you know this, Joy, from the pregnancy center, kids are getting pregnant younger and younger, and then they're coming for abortions. So we've got to educate our young people that this is not a clump of cells. It's not a blob of tissues. It's a baby with a beating heart. The baby's trying to say, please look at me. I'm here. Save my life,
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm very hopeful about the campaign. And of course, then tied right into this campaign came, of course, the heartbeat bill in Texas, which I
Yes.
was like, my goodness, come Holy Spirit,
Right.
We started doing this here, and then the heartbeat bill comes into law,
Yeah.
in Texas. And of course, we have the Dobbs case, as we know, that we're praying about with the Supreme Court, which of course talks about viability. And so for me, Jim, we've been at this for decades. To me, at such a time as this,
Yes.
with such a pro-abortion administration and the Congress, and right now we have these hopeful things happening that I can't be more excited. And that's why I'm excited about the campaign, because I always tell everybody, for every baby we save from an abortion, we're also saving a mom and dad too, from what we know is the grief that comes later on.
Right.
So
And the education part is so true. We had a client who came in who had an abortion at 8 weeks in her past. So, but she never got to see the baby on ultrasound, never was told that it was a baby. She was told it was a blob of tissue. So now
Right.
she gets pregnant again within 1 to 2 years of her abortion, which is very common. And
Right.
she has the ultrasound, and now she has a real live picture of this pregnancy at 8 weeks. And when the sonographer gave her her printed picture, the nurse sonographer gave her a printed picture, she went into the counseling room and just stared at the baby, and she kept saying to me, "Oh my God, what have I done? Oh my
Right.
God, what have I done?" Because she was clueless. She was told lies from the
Exactly.
pro-abortion community, because that's what they do. They lie. And she had to come to terms with her first abortion, right? The
Right.
reality of that. Now she's post-abortive, and this precious life that God has blessed her with again. So tell us about, Silent No More and the impact that is having on the pro-life community.
Well, of course, the Silent No More campaign continues to grow. Not only do we have the women, of course, expressing their regret, the men, I regret lost fatherhood. We have the grandparents now saying, I mourn my aborted grandchildren. Siblings coming forward with their testimony. I mourn my aborted sibling. We've had people even come forward with testimonies saying, I regret being an accomplice. So this is where a friend took a friend for an abortion, and they're coming to regret. So the work of Rachel's Vineyard and Silent No More keeps expanding, and kind of like what Shockwaves, my book Shockwaves, does, to show this wider circle of victims. That abortion has impacted everybody. It impacts everybody in the entire family, in the whole community even, because there are people missing, as we say, from the family tree. So we're very excited, of course, at Silent No More. Every week we get more testimonies coming to our website, and people can just go to, if they want to read the testimonies, just go to abortiontestimony.com. And you can read all the different testimonies up there. There's actually a sort there where you can just click off. If you want to read RU486 chemical abortion testimonies, you click that. You could read the traumatic stories of these women who bought that lie, take this pill, no big deal, and you see what happened to them in those chemical abortions. And also, too, they can go to another page, abortionforgiveness.com. Again, put in your zip code, and you'll see where's the nearest Rachel's Vineyard or other healing resources. So we've really, what should I say, fine-tuned everything that we can get people the information very quickly to help them.
Yeah, and you've got the website. It's My Heart Beats Just Like Yours. Is it .org as well? That's it?
.com.
.com.
My Heart Beats
like
Just Like Yours.com.
Yep.
And if they go there, you'll see the beautiful pictures.
Yes.
And then there's an opportunity. You can order brochures.
Right.
We have buttons, T-shirts, bumper stickers.
Yeah.
We even got in brand new water bottles. So imagine you could be at the gym with your water bottle and you could be educating people. I mean, that's the concept here, is to kind of awaken the people,
Yeah.
because they're going to be hearing in the news, of course, the heartbeat bill. Obviously, the pro-aborts are fighting that Texas bill, and then we have the Dobbs case. So we have a perfect opportunity, because for once, abortion is in the news, right?
Right.
The
Right.
secular media, they're reporting it because they have to. Their hands are
Yeah.
tied. They're
Yeah.
reporting it. So
Yeah.
we've got a window here, Jim, that's opened up where,
Right.
come on, let's push out
Yeah.
there and let's educate everybody about this unborn child
Yeah.
while this conversation is going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're educating, but you're also equipping God's people. You're giving an opportunity. We don't know if it's going to happen or not. So
Right.
it's people could just watch this show and say, well, Janet shares that so well, and that's wonderful. That was such an edifying show. Thank you, Janet, for what you do. No, this isn't about Janet, what she does. This is
No.
about me trying to equip you so that you'll go to the website and you'll see the different links and you'll get these materials. And you were mentioning the brochure. The brochure is absolutely excellent. Has those powerful images that you were talking about at 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. And it has what's happening at each stage of that development right there. And then you got statistics underneath it. But you're trying at Priest for Life, you know, one of the largest pro-life ministries in the world to end abortion, and to equip God's people for the work of the ministry at this very hour and at this very time. Janet, Morana, we look forward to continuing this conversation tomorrow, going over other projects and campaigns.
And finally, Jim,
Yeah.
one final thing I'd
Sure.
like to tell
Go ahead.
everybody.
Yeah.
Remember, brothers and sisters, there are some abortions only you can stop, and some lives only you can save. That's
You know,
what
I
always
heard
tell
some other lady on a show on EWTN. She says the same thing. I think you stole it from her. Anyway, Janet, thank you so much. God bless you. Plenty more to come. We'll be right back. Please don't go away.
God bless.
Welcome back. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and we had a wonderful conversation with Janet, a real pro-life warrior and doing great and wonderful things. So it is Pro-Life Month, and Janet came to us on a very busy week, right? We have the March for Life that's happening in Washington on Friday, and then the Walk for Life West Coast that's happening on Saturday. And then look around for your local marches to find out where you can participate, so you can get involved. And if you can't get out and get involved, then stay where you are and pray. Go to adoration and pray that abortion would come to an end in our land.
You know, Janet was sharing about letting the baby speak. And, you know, so many times, you know, I've done debates and other things. And I'll say in the midst of those debates, when I'm speaking with somebody who's pro-abortion and so on, and we're going back and forth, and there's a moderator there and this and that, every once in a while I just stop and I say, you know, there's somebody missing from this conversation.
Right.
I say, no, I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, we're speaking about things. I just wish we had a preborn child to speak to you, or that we were showing pictures of fetal development, or showing pictures of aborted children, because they need to speak, instead of just us people out here debating this as if this is an issue, because it's not about an issue, it's about a human being who has the fundamental right to human existence in life, and is going to experience one of the most horrific deaths that a person could experience. And so this campaign is just so critical, and I really do encourage you to go to priestforlife.org, the other sites that we've given to you, and just go to myheartbeatsjustlikeyours.com. Get these materials, because it's not enough that you're aware of it. We have to be equipped to do the work of the ministry. And Priest for Life is absolutely incredible in their family of ministries of wanting to equip us to do the work of the ministry, so that we're always ready to give an answer for the hope that is within us, so that we can be articulate, so that we can help people that may have the right to their own opinions, but they don't have the right to their own facts.
Right.
Priest for Life always says that, Father Frank, others, those of us in the pro-life movement. Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. So let's go by that and then let God do the work. I mean, you can't bring the conviction, you can't change, but think about how far you've come in the pro-life movement and where you were.
Yes.
All together, we will build a new culture of life We thank God for EWTN getting the word out to millions of people. We're praying for all the marches that are going to take place, ones that are not as well known as DC and other places. All together, we will build a new culture of life. And life, marriage, and the family will prevail. And Jesus Christ is now and always will be Lord. Keep it on EWTN. God bless you. God bless all of your loved ones. Bye now.